Yeah, all right. Let's play a little bit of what we heard. I think let's talk about if we're the Steve Sadow and the other lawyers, and I'll give this to you, Lisa and Andrew, kept saying that you have to throw her out because of ethical concerns. She lied on stand, they're claiming. She perjured herself, and because of that, she should be disqualified. Well, the judge asked if that's the standard, what happens in this case? Listen.
If I have genuine concerns about her truthfulness on a particular occasion, how do those not spill over into every criminal case a district attorney brings?
Well, it's because she testified under oath, and so did Mr. Wade. They didn't have to testify falsely. They could have testified truthfully. They could have indicated that the relationship, the timing was in fact before Mr. Wade was hired. They chose not to. And in that sense, that dishonesty, that constitutes a violation of their ethical responsibilities. This is not signing an indictment. This is not filing a pleading in which both sides have their own positions. This is a requirement that every witness has to tell the truth under oath. And if they don't tell the truth under oath, or there's a significant concern about their credibility, then they're violating their ethical rules. And as anyone will tell you, as Your Honor already knew from when you were a prosecutor, prosecutors are held to a higher standard.
Andrew, he's saying that if she should be held to a higher standard, she should be taken off every case. That's what the judge is asking. Should she be taken off every case if she's found to have lied here? By the way, Fani Willis is in the courtroom. We'll see if she has anything to say for herself directly when the state makes their final arguments. We're going to go back in a minute, but Andrew, please.
So a standard question that judges have in almost every case is, if you are right, what's the limiting principle? What are the effects of what you're asking? And so what the judge correctly was saying is, you're saying that I should find that based on this evidence that Ms. Willis lied on the stand. That's assuming he were to find that he could say, you know what, I disagree with that. I don't think she lied. I don't think there's sufficient proof here. But what he was saying is, if I find that, what does that mean for not just this case, but every case? And he points out, she signs the indictments of every case. And the answer that was given, which you have to give some limiting principle because there's no way the judge is going to be saying every single case that she signed an indictment, was, well, it's a difference between signing an indictment and in this particular case taking the stand and lying about the particular allegations here. But I have to say, like Katie Phang, that I think almost every single question that was asked was favorable to the state in terms of materiality, limiting principles, the de minimis financial interests here. All were questions that were tough for the defense. But as Katie points out, it could be that when we see the state argue its case, that he has equally tough questions.
We're going to go back in any second now, but let's also just briefly talk. Lisa, why have this hearing in the first place?
Well, I think this hearing was necessary once he decided to have an evidentiary hearing at all. So I think
I'm talking about the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. I don't know why it was necessary. We talked earlier about the legal standard here. I think Andrew and I are in agreement that this never met the threshold, even if all the facts were established. Judge McAfee, however, felt that the appearance of impropriety in and of itself justified having a hearing. That was how he justified it to himself. And now that he opened that Pandora's box, here we are. I agree with Andrew that all the questions that he's asked so far really favor the state. One other that he asked, Katie, that I found really interesting is we're far outside the core of these cases. So if the proposition is that a representative of the state says something untruthful, do I, as the court, have to deal with that? Or shouldn't I refer that to the state bar down the street?
Yeah.